Hi guys, it's April and I garden down in southeast Nebraska, zone 6A, and this is my final day of tomato seed planting. I have been doing this for the last 4 days. This is the 4th day. I've planted out all of my slicing tomatoes. I've done my paste Roma tomatoes, and now I am on my snackers. Now, to me, snackers encompasses both cherry tomatoes and saladettes, any of those kind of tomato sizes that you would just either put on top of a salad or just pop into your mouth. That's what I'm considering snackers. Now, I know my categories are so arbitrary and technically probably aren't even mainstream or what most tomato breeders and or sellers even think about categorizing their tomatoes. But this is what works for me because A, it gives me enough space to store all of the seeds that I have in these containers. And B, it's just the way my brain works. So if you don't think of tomatoes in this way, I totally get it. Totally understand. This is just how my brain works. But if you want to see what other tomatoes I have already planted out, I highly recommend that you go back and watch those videos. I've only got 6 of these guys to plant out today, most of which are cherry tomatoes, and I have one that I consider probably a saladette, which means afterwards I'll probably give you a seedling update of where everything is at. But I did go ahead and pull out the tray I started yesterday with some of the slicing tomatoes that I planted out. And on the other side, I'm going to be doing all of these snackers. Let's go. So I have my 6 containers set up. As always, I'm using the 2.5-inch pots, and I will be using this mascara wand as my little hole creating tool. But planting tomatoes is pretty simple. I'm gonna go about 1/4 inch deep, and if these are old seeds, I'll probably do 3 to 4 holes in seeds, and if they're new seeds, I'll just do 2. To start out with, I am going to do my chocolate sparkles. And this one, I have seeds all over the packet because I think at some point this just broke. Let's see if I can get them all in a good spot to actually grab the seeds. Okay, I have what looks like quite a few. I think I'll just do 3. Make sure I know which pot I'm working in. I don't think I dropped a seed into the wrong container, but I'm not 100% sure. There we go. Doesn't look like it did. I might have just dropped fuzz or something. Thought I saw it drop. Okay, and that is chocolate sprinkle. Next up, I'm super excited about this one. This one is the Cosmic Burst. It is a rainbow of colors, and those tend to be some of my favorite tomatoes. So I had to give this cherry variety a try. And I did pre-make my labels as always. It's kind of how I always set up because I hate stopping and having to rate in the middle of what I'm doing. Okay, next I have the Gandalf. This is a dwarf tomato. I did grow it last year, but I have looked at so many tomatoes this year, and in the process of trying to decide what I was gonna grow, they're all starting to merge together at this point. And just like that, I am halfway through this round of tomatoes. In total, between all 4 days, it'll be 44 different varieties of tomatoes. And if all of them successfully sprout, I'm going to try and find a place for all of them in my garden. Some might be in ground, some might be in pots, some might be in the raised beds. But I have a tendency to tuck tomato plants in the most random places and hope that they're successful. Okay, the next one is a free gift from the Need for Seeds. This is the Green Doctor, which I believe is a pure green cherry tomato. Turns out that I'm going to be doing a lot of this next one, Kryptonite, and yes, I did get it for the name, is also a green tomato. I'm usually a sucker for any nerdy reference. These two are stuck together. Let's see if I can get them apart. There we go. If I had done all of my tomato seeds together, it would have been 2 hours of seeding and quite a bit of time editing the videos. So, kind of glad I broke it up this way. Though maybe next year I'll break it up into different days, but then just release it in one video. That might be an idea. Okay, last I have Pico's Pride. This is also a dwarf tomato, but this one is what I consider more of a saladette size. And it is a yellow orangish variety. I think it was my best producing dwarf of this style last year. And just like that, I am done planting out tomato seeds. So I'm going to get the vermiculite out, and then I'm going to mist these in so that the seeds get good contact with that moist soil. And that is all of my tomatoes started, all 44 varieties that I'm still not 100% sure where they're gonna go, but the fun sometimes is just the possibilities of what can happen once everything is planted out. For now though, I am going to go ahead and show you where all of the seedlings are, and some of them are so ready to go outside. So here are the cabbage and bok choy, pak choy, whatever you want to call them. They really need to come out of these pots, and they'll probably be sitting outside in trays for the next week or so and then be planted out, but we're really close. Along with these bunching onions, I should cut off the tops, but part of me really doesn't want to because they're just doing so well, but they don't fit underneath the lights anymore, especially the bulbing onions. We did have a couple of really warm days last week, and so they spent most of their time outside last week, and it really shows how much more they enjoy the actual sunlight compared to my artificial lights. But down here we have the lettuce that I have been harvesting off of here and there because these two, they're starting to tell me that they're not happy about being in these pots. And I do have some spinach starting to come up. So they will probably be getting their first true leaves by the time I am planting them out. And then over here I have the hollyhocks. I have more of the pink hollyhocks, the Fiesta Time. They are, I think, just really slow at coming up. If you can see right there, I've got a surprise baby that just started coming up. I think they're just slow to germinate. For a while there, I thought I was only going to have 2, and now I have 7. The black hollyhocks are in the back, and then we have, I believe, Sweet Williams are in the front, and then in the back you can see the foxglove. And here is 1 half tray of peppers, and if we go down here you can see the rest of the peppers. I only have 1 pepper that did not sprout yet, and that is the Orange King. And those are pretty old seeds, so I'm not too surprised, and I won't be devastated if they don't germinate, but overall we've got a pretty good germination rate, and some of them are even starting to show their first true leaves. Now over here is where the biggest change has been happening. So this is the first round of slicers and the paste tomatoes. And down here, through the screen, you can kind of see them. Let's see if I can do this without knocking everything over. You can see a lot of the herbs are starting to come up. And I did move the agastache over here. I think this is the slowest I have ever seen the agastache grow. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with it. But all of the basil has sprouted. We've got at least one of the cilantros, we've got the dill, we've got the thyme, we've got the stevia, we've got both of the lemon balms. The only things that haven't sprouted yet are my slow bolt cilantro and then the cumin. So I'm still waiting on those. And then over here, I have potted up all of the coleus. And so now I have a bunch of little baby coleuses that are just doing their thing. We've got more sprouts going for the dahlias. And then I'm not going to open this, but you can kind of see in there my dahlia propagation. And I also moved the orange king in there as well because I needed the space on the heat. And finally, last but not least, I have these containers of straw flowers and Gerber daisies that are pretty much doing nothing. I think next week I'm gonna give up on these and maybe try the paper towel method to see if I can get anything to start to sprout. So yeah. And that is where all of the seedlings are at right now. I have a tray up and ready for when the tomatoes start to sprout. I'm kind of excited about that. As I said, I'm ready. Otherwise, like I said, all of my cool season stuff will probably be going out in about a week, depending on when I actually have time to plant those kind of stuff out. I'm hopefully going to be getting potatoes at the same time. I usually like to plant out my potatoes, my onions, my lettuce, my radishes, and this year beets around the same time, usually on the same day if I've got a nice cloudy day to plant all of that stuff out. So that might be happening in about a week or so. If you want to see all of that happen, feel free to subscribe down below. Hit the bell to do all the things to get all of the notifications. Otherwise, next week I will be starting some of my annuals, my annual flowers. A lot of the nasturtium, the calendula. I don't know if I'm going to do marigolds this year or buy them from a vendor at the farmer's market who has some of the most gorgeous marigolds I have ever seen. I think I have some additional daisies that I want to try and germinate and get into my pots outside. And like I said, I think I'm going to try the paper towel method with both the straw flower and the Gerber daisy seeds that I collected. And that'll be the last of the seeds that I'll be starting this year. At that point, it's going to be planting things outside or potting things up or thinning things out, and it's in maintenance mode. So like I said, feel free to subscribe if you want to follow the whole journey of all of the things that are going to be happening pretty quickly at this point. And then I also have an Instagram and Threads account where I like to keep things updated when I remember. I'm not always the best at social media, so I apologize. But if you would like to follow me over there as well, feel free. Otherwise, I hope I will see you guys again in another video, and I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.